Good evening, gamers, and welcome back to Hellstormwargaming. Welcome to this really janky stream. Let me just turn the... Oh, wrong way. There we go.
One bloody job.
One more. Oh.
Hey.
There we go.
Sorry, chat.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, everyone. How are we? We all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
This is good.
Welcome to the stream. My name's Mikey. I stream every single Monday and Wednesday morning for the morning news. Monday evening, Wednesday mornings, and now it's Friday night.
Are we adding this?
I've drunk water already. That was great. I went to grab a beer. We're already having a great time. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Tom's been a legend. I've literally just took water on a laptop charger, which is very clever. Very clever of me.
I feel like we should go. Back to like screen holding.
Start again.
Do that. 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah.
Welcome to the stream. As I said, my name's Mike. I'm joined by the lovely Tom. Hi, Tom.
Hi, everyone. It's a big day in the world of Warhammer.
Yeah,
I feel like we say that sometimes.
We're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons today.
Wow.
I'm only kidding. There we go. We got this bad boy to talk about today.
We do.
It's a very, very exciting day. I didn't get a video planned because, I mean, most of you have read it already now. But I thought we could just chat about your concerns, your woes, your...
And maybe some stuff that like you guys haven't seen yet. So like look, this, you might have seen that the world went crazy at about 3 p.m. today, or 4 p.m. for us.
4 p.m. specifically. Yeah.
4 p.m. specifically, and we're lucky that we've had some eyes over it. But we've seen some stuff that, like, you know, you might have seen the top line stuff, but actually there's some interesting stuff that's going to maybe change the competitive and tournament world going forward, right?
I'm just trying to clear up the mess. The mess that is 10th edition launch.
Whilst you're doing the tidy up, I need the people who are in chat right now to do 2 things. Number 1, say hi.
Hi.
Number 2, like the stream, and 2.5 things. Say where you're listening from, what you're doing Friday night.
Where you watching from?
Yeah.
And what do you think of Friday night streams? Are these what we need to be doing now? Are we missing out on a Friday night stream?
Please, if you also > Discord, I want to see you raising a glass right now.
Hell yeah, raise a glass.
Raise a glass.
Raise a glass. Let's say hello, Jamartin, Organ UK. The clock in Diablo tells me late. I was a bit late, yeah, my apologies. I was spilling water and beer everywhere. Got to account for the Yorkshire time difference. We're not in Yorkshire, we're in Birmingham.
We are, which means that time goes in reverse in Birmingham.
It does, actually. It's a little bit slower. You wouldn't realise because you're not multicultural like I am.
They do actually have the Black Country Museum here, right?
They do.
And I've been there once on a school trip, and it's basically like you go back in time. They're like, there's like no electricity, and there's horse and cart, and like everyone says, "All right, Bob," in the street. So yeah, probably the more Black Country accent than I used to do. So,
probably.
Yeah.
So the point today is we're not going to sit here and go in the movement phase. This is what happens. We're going to talk about like the changes. We're going to like talk about the changes compared to 9th edition to 10th edition, and we're going to answer questions. So we've got the whole book. I had the book with me at UK Games Expo today. I was just kind of walking around being like, "Yeah, I'm chill, mate. What are you doing? You got a Leviathan book? No, just me. Just me."
It was your way of trying to basically say, "Come and talk to me, people," because I have this incredible book that you want to know all the goodness about, right? And people just came and just.
They just won't leave me alone. It was awful.
They just did
that. I thought I'd go live and talk to you guys instead because you're cooler. So Tom, someone's asked, how do you pronounce your beer?
How do I? Okay.
What's it called?
Mahoo.
Mahoo.
Oh, Mahau.
Is it not Mao?
Meow.
Meow.
Meow. Okay.
Mao, I don't know.
Is it like the noise that Star Wars Blaster makes? Meow, meow, meow. Meow. Yeah. Maybe. I have 2 because you need to have Mahau. Mahau. Yeah.
Have we met Tom? Tom's a regular on the channel. You know, we've not done. You're the person I'm bullying battle reports, aren't you?
Yeah. So we were having a conversation with your girlfriend's dad about the last time that I think he actually watched the stream that I won Mikey, and it's been a running thing for all of 9th edition. I think I've won you once on a live battle report.
Yeah.
And I've tried hard, and I've got very salty at times. Sometimes I didn't even come back for about a month because I was that in pain about it all.
Yeah.
And it's going to change in 10th.
You reckon?
Yeah, I've been studying the book, or as Ali would say, studying the blade.
Joke.
And I will be bringing my A game.
Really?
Yeah, I've been studying the terrain and the
terrain,
rules.
knocking it over.
Yeah. And the future is Tom winning. Right, you're going to be bowing down to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Watching from your mum's basement, excellent.
Whoever said that, thank you. I appreciate you.
But yeah, Tommy's in the Discord. You're not super active though. Oh yeah, but you're in the Discord.
No, but
Hellstorm
if
Tom.
people say nice things and tag me, I'll be more active.
Exactly.
So at Hellstorm Tom, you can also follow me on Instagram. I'm allowed to publish my own I'm gonna follow me on Instagram at Hellstorm Tom.
You are on Instagram.
Yes.
My mic's not as good as Tom's. Where's yours? Yours is right in the middle. Shall I put mine right in the middle?
people want to hear me more than you anyway,
Probably.
right?
Let us know what that sounds. We're both using the same pair of microphones. So, speaking about reports, we should say, you're not in it.
No,
You went
however, somebody better is in it.
But, well, no. But tomorrow morning at 10 a.m, make sure you tune into the channel. There's a premiere happening for an hour. There's Elliot, there's me, there's pictures of some cool models, like a Screamer Killer and a Terminator Captain. There's pictures of them. I can't legally say that I have them, or have painted them, or have used them in a battle report, but there is a video premiering tomorrow at 10.
There is a premiere that you should be watching at 10 o'clock tomorrow. That is all you need to know, right?
Yes, exactly.
And cancel your plans because Saturday is going to get spicy. Spicy Saturday.
Price is going to be busy.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the core rules. We're going to talk about some interesting changes. If you've got any questions, any concerns, then now's the time to ask. I want to say a massive thank you to Arhane, great name Cringe, for the 14 months. Where's the real Hellstorm CEO, Georgie? She's busy doing admin. You know her. Life of a CEO.
I think her exact words were, "I'm leaving you two to it." I think that's what. I think that was her exact words.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Did you want me? Oh, sorry, for professionalism. Yeah, she's going to do admin.
She's doing admin.
Cool. Yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah.
It should be fun. It's quite a chunky book. Now I should say I can talk about the core rules. I don't think I can talk about anything else in the book.
No.
But what I can show you, it does come with a little thingy.
That's what you can show the people.
And the core rules start here, as you can see. I can't show you these pages, but I can show you they exist. So let me know what this sounds like. Let me know if the microphone's okay. We're about to begin.
Are we?
Okay.
Are we about to begin?
About to begin.
I love how you just so you know, the only thing you've really shown so far is a flappy piece of this. So I hope it gets better.
It's probably got a name. So we're just
Lock
going to talk about the core rules.
Friday night's going to be wild. All right? It gets better.
And then what I should say is the core rules go on for quite a few pages. Now, they are free to download. You've all seen them, so that's why we're not going to talk about everything.
What do you mean the Emperor's back to life?
But this is the chunk. It's about 60 pages. Got the background music a bit. Got you. I got you.
Does the book smell good from Organ UK?
Thank you so much for the 5 Organ UK. Really appreciate it.
Can I do a smell test? Can I do this? I've actually not had this yet.
You've not had it, have you?
All right, ready. Do you know something? Actually, just no BS. Actually,
you're right. You're okay. This is a bit.
It smells like a new edition of Warhammer.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Okay. Also, Jamartin, thank you very much for the 15 months in a row. That's very kind of you. And the Enstall for 31 months. Good evening. Good evening to you, sir. And Jace, thank you so much for upgrading your membership to Tactical Marine. Thanks for giving us more money to support the channel.
Does that mean now one person is upgraded? Does that mean we can afford one more beer?
One more beer for us. Let's go. Let's go, baby. So it's an exciting time because obviously we've got the new book. So we're going to talk about the changes. We've got them up on here, I think.
Next
how do you use this?
Oh, look, it's a Mac. Okay, this is the high level content.
Speaking of high level, thanks to Barty for being such a high level gamer.
Another beer
that membership.
Another beer went. No,
okay?
There's no one there.
More beers for us. Every membership equal more beer. We are getting drunk this stream, I guess. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, sir. Thank you very much.
So let's have a look. So we've got some interesting stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's feels quite familiar, but there's some stuff that's been solidified.
Yes. Okay, so if I was to say to you right now, at the core rules, what do you think is the most sort of important change from 9th edition to 10th edition? Would you have something in mind?
Mission pack.
Mission pack, okay.
Mission pack. But I want to say a massive thank you to Mercenary for the big fat 10. Tell me how you feel about 10th edition. How I feel about 10th edition. Okay, thank you very much for the 10. Really appreciate it. It's very kind of you.
Appreciate it, dude.
So, 10th edition, it feels like 9th edition. Like how it plays.
As far as a hot take goes.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Also, Radio Free, thank you very much for remembering 7 months, mate. Really appreciate you.
What a guy.
As a core game, what you have to remember is 9th edition as a core game. This music's way too fast. I'm so stressed. I'm so sorry.
You have to get it out. You're under a time limit. Tell us what 10th edition is like in 20 seconds. Go.
Yeah, so as a core game, 9th edition was very, very good. The problem was codexes. Codexes bloated the game.
Yeah.
Mission packs got really stale because they were same. Yeah. And then some armies were really good at just grabbing secondaries all the time, and some armies weren't. The good thing about 10th edition is we're all starting again. But the core rules feel very, very fluid and I know it's streamlined and all that, but a lot of it is there is no ambiguity, and they've got rid of some stuff you just don't need to do.
Yep.
You know, they've just made it a little bit cleaner. What I will say is they've got rid of a lot of the jank in the command and the combat phase, such as consolidate, charge jank, pile-ins, etc., which is good for simplicity, but as a competitive player where I thrive in the pile-ins, the consolidates, the coherency shenanigans you can do, not a fan initially. Now, I've only played a couple of games, can't talk about it all, you know, I can't say everything, this is a perfect game, I've only played a handful. But like the charge phase where you have to charge to the closest point, you have to make base contact if you can, you have to stay really close if you can only move closer. It's going to actually sound simple. You just move all your models really close. It's actually going to
remove a layer from the game, right? It's
going to remove a layer from the game, but also add a harder layer to the game. Because what you can start doing, because like I said, charge phase, you must charge and hit base to base if possible without failing the charge. What you can do is if you want to do some janky stuff where you don't want a particular unit to get right base to base, right straight forwards, for example. So if you've got a unit here, they've got a unit there, you can charge straight forwards, right? What you can do is charge another unit first and block your charge, and now the closest point to make base to base is actually round the back of it.
Yes.
Yeah, so it makes your charge harder.
You're like slingshotting one of your own units, so you're basically throwing some guardsmen in first to go, actually, my Ogryns are now going to sneak around the side, because that's how I get base to base.
Because I want these Ogryns to move even further, so it's going to make my charge harder, but there's lots of, obviously, command point reroll charges. There's probably, I can't say too much, but there's probably going to be some interesting ways to manipulate charge rolls, because that's been a thing since forever. So you can actually go, well, they've simplified it because I just run my dudes into your dudes and make base contact, but now you can go, well, you're going to do that, but I've been studying the blade, the core rules, and I'm actually going to charge a crap unit in and block off where I what should charge.
To the charge, effectively.
And now I've got to charge even further round, which is actually jankier than just charging and piling in. So it is actually very interesting where they've gone, this is a simpler way to play a game. And it's like, no, you've added another level of complexity where people who just run charges into each other because that's what they think they do are going to get caught out by it.
But I think the main thing is that is genuinely really clever. I think that's what people at tournaments, hopefully like you guys watching, will be looking at now and seeing sort of the angles. But actually, I like what they've done in the sense that if you're a pickup game person or you're learning to play the game, the rules now state you make base-to-base contact. None of this, I'm 0.9 inches away from you, therefore I'm still in charge range, but therefore I'm now going to consolidate. That element has gone.
Exactly.
But if you're playing competitively, the skill level's just increased, right? Whereas normal people are going to go, I'm going to send my core berserkers into you, and I'm going to chop you still. That's still going to be fun. We're going to have a great time. But competitively, there's now a new element of, I want to get my exalted around the back, effectively.
Again, it makes the charges harder. But that feels like a thing that they focus on, being like, this is really broken, we need to deal with this. And then actually, they've made it in a way where it's actually probably jankier, in my opinion. It's less obvious what you can do with it, but when you work it out, you'll realise there's actually quite a lot of jank you can do. Like blocking off charges by piling in a certain way where you leave a gap for a model so the closest point is miles away, so their charge is really hard, for example, or vice versa, where you want to get really hard charges so you can go further. Because there's going to be obviously ways to reroll charges. Obviously, just a command point reroll. We all know that's a core stratagem. Command point reroll charge. You need a 9, you get a 10 instead. You've got a janky charge.
No, a million
compared
percent.
To a 9-inch charge, which you would have had to make it 10. You can go right round. And also to answer your question, Jace, no, there are not less rerolls in the game. I play Space Marines. Oath of Moment is obviously janky. There's lots of other ways you can get rerolls in the game. Again, I can't say too much, but we've seen games. We're going to see games soon. You're going to see a game tomorrow.
I mean, again, you'll look at the captain tomorrow. You know what I mean? There's ways to. There are rerolls going to be built into the game and stuff like that, right? And that's been a fundamental part of Warhammer. You just have to see where they pop up, right? That's the best way to describe it. But I have to say, lovely to see so many people in chat tonight. I hope everyone's having a great Friday night. I'm thinking, what I want to know from you in chat right now, are you excited for 10th edition? From what you've seen from the core rules in the last 5 hours?
What have you read that's really confusing? And we'll try and break it down for you.
And
we'll talk about why it's cool, why it's bad, or what you can do with it.
Or do you want something clarifying? Like, is this something you've read, or are people talking about something on Facebook and you're like, is this a thing? Have we read this right? Are we interpreting this right? Because we're quite fortunate we've seen them a little bit longer, so we can
got a bit more time to digest.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we'll be able to, hey, we're not saying we're going to be right, but I'll tell you now, we'll give you a hot take. Whatever happens, and then what we need you to do is spread our hot take across Facebook like wildfire. Put it on Discord servers. I want, if we say that Fly units now move 1 inch. That's
Tell
what's
everybody.
happening.
Spread the news.
Yeah, fly is now die. That's what it is.
Crow's bag. Beanbag, Crow's Nest Gaming. Beanbag, thank you so much for the
Can you rename yourself as Crowbag now?
Crowbag, yeah.
Thank you.
Crowbag, Bean Nest. Why
only had
have
2
you
beers.
moved to Dubai? We're in Birmingham, mate. We're staying at George's parents.
It does actually look like
nice,
we're in
isn't it?
some sort of like. I mean, this is the UK when there's a bit of sunshine and it makes it look like we're actually somewhere else.
So yeah, we've got a really bright light in front of us, basically. So
Bright
we're in Birmingham because we're obviously down in Birmingham for the UK Games Expo, where I revealed I had the Leviathan call book in my bag the entire day.
Yeah. Until 3:59, when there's a great video on Hellstormwargaming at Instagram where Mikey whacked it out of his top.
I did.
It was a great moment.
I did.
Yeah. We saw a big full life Terminator today at the UK Games Expo, didn't we, mate?
We did. It was at Wargaming Fest as well, though. But you could get a lot closer. There was no one guarding it this
Yeah.
time.
I interviewed the Terminator. Not a really talkative guy. More on that soon.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers. So like my hot take is the game is good.
Yep.
It feels like movement phase, shooting phase, charge phase, all does feel very similar.
Yes.
Obviously we talked about charges and the janky stuff you can do there. But as a whole, the game feels very familiar, which is nice because it means it's not going to be too hard to pick up. However, there is stuff you can do, and there's some stuff that got rid of, which I don't like. And the stuff that's changed. The big one, again, like talking about like weird stuff that's changed that doesn't sound massive but is massive, is Fly.
Yes, yeah.
Fly
this
has
is quite an important change that I think people haven't really discussed yet. I've not seen the conversations. So you might be listening to this for the first time and watching us going, actually, I've not spotted that or picked that up. So yeah,
exactly.
Fly in the movement phase is not what it used to be 9th edition.
No. Now the obvious one is like, oh yeah, with Fly, yeah, you just measure to the point.
Yeah, you just ignore terrain. I'm moving 12
No, not
inches.
even that. You just measure to the point.
Yeah.
But like the thing is like the example they give is here. Now we're gonna drop our screen. Just pull chat up on there.
Yeah, man.
Let's see if this works. Sorry, it's janky. Hello. There we go. That looks like it worked. So Fly, if a model can fly, when it makes a normal move or advance and fallback, it can move over any models if they're not there. It can move within engagement range as long as it's making a normal move. It means that monster vehicles that can fly can move over other monsters and vehicles.
Yep.
However, models that can fly cannot end their movement at the top of any of the models. And it shows you an example. So your measurement is like diagonal. I just realised I'm really off camera.
I'm about to say, for some reason you're cropping yourself. Yeah.
I'll fix that in a minute.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's the Tom show now. Tom.
While we're talking.
You want me to move this way, love? Why don't you move the camera that way, love?
Because then when we come back, it's not in the right place. So Fly has had a significant change where you measure laterally, literally not laterally. Because before you'd go straight over the top. Also, Jamarty, thanks very much to the team, mate. Really appreciate it. Fly will get a day one FAQ. I imagine it will. Fly, you usually measure 1 point, you measure the next point and drop there, whether it's up, over, round, whatever. The difference with Fly now is because you measure literally, you don't ignore terrain when you fly over.
No.
Now, infantry, you're not going to feel a difference. You're just going to measure, I'm going to measure diagonally, I'm going upper floor, just measure up to the floor. The big one is Talos, Drakari vehicles, other flying vehicles, Tau flying vehicles.
Yeah.
Vehicles and monsters now can't fly through walls. Because they'd have to go up and then down, but they can't fly through the floor because they're not breachable. They'd have to measure up, across, and then down to move over stuff, which means you're going to struggle to hide like flying units to jump over.
You're not going to get the distance to get into a terrain piece effectively, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's like a huge difference because you're not going to be able to hide it and then just fly around the back or fly through. You're going to have to fly around, which is like huge.
Yeah.
Miniac, thank you very much.
Hey,
He's got
Miniac.
a real Maniac. He's got a tick there. So thanks for the $5, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Miniac. Hope you're good, man. Nice to see you.
How you doing? I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Great job on the other games April you're doing. That was really fun.
Yeah.
So
really good, yeah.
So yeah,
Fly
is
doesn't
huge
seem
change.
finessed. Is that a better way of saying it?
Yeah.
So I think the thing is their intention with Fly. I get it, and I see what they've tried to do in a core rule sense. I don't think
to make it simple.
They tried to make it simple, and therefore basically like the terrain wasn't ignored as a fly unit, right? They wanted still some interaction there, so you couldn't just jump into, for example, let's take the GW boards that we know and well from competitive play, the boxes where you could just go, I'm going to jump and sit in the middle, right? They wanted to be some interaction of, well, you can't just jump out 12 inches, mate. You're going to have to go up and down. The problem is competitively, rules as written, fly units and certain fly units, like you point out, are like taking a massive debuff, right?
It feels like taking a huge hit because of the fact that we're so used to terrain L shapes, for example, especially on tournament boards. But it's going to affect any board you play on. You're not just going to be able to ignore that terrain. You've got to measure point to point. Like if I'm flying up here, I've got to measure from here up there and then down, and I can't just go straight through a wall. And
exactly. You think about some of the L shapes we've been using in competitive tournament terrain. They're not small.
High.
They're not small.
9 to 12 inches high.
What you do, like effectively, if something's got, I don't know, I'm going to take, I don't know, anything that has less than an 18-inch movement isn't getting up and down. Yeah, that's basically everything.
I use land speeders all the time, and I use them for character sniping because they're so good. So like a land speeder starts in my deployment zone, it moves 16, jumps through walls and just deletes something, or I use it for a screen, then jump into their deployment zone later. It's going to really struggle to do that because it's going to have to go around or up and over. Yeah, which is more of a. I think for initially rules as written, again, they're going to have to sort of basically pop their nose out, right? Which is not really what they were doing in 9th edition. Sort of like they were going where they wanted. Hiding behind another L shape or anything, whereas this time it's more about I'm scooting around the outside, right? Yeah. So but infantry, like Vanguard veterans, for example, because they fly, but they're infantry, they can go through ruins as normal and go through most terrain as normal. Yeah.
So my sanguinary guard, completely fine.
Great example. Yeah. They just move through walls as normal, so they don't feel like they've changed at all until you want to land on a higher level. If you want to end on top of something, that's obviously you do measure up and over. But if you're just moving in a straight line and you land it starting on the battle mat and moving to a battle mat, you just fly for everything. Yeah. So it's quite interesting. It's definitely interesting.
So whilst we've got this book, this beautiful book, obviously we can only really discuss the core rules as we've said. But if you've got any questions or anything that you guys have read that you're thinking, actually, I want to discuss that further, or is there anything you've seen that you're a bit like, can we discuss this part of the rule set? For example, I don't know, it might be. Have you got any questions about where, I don't know, obviously we've lost the morale phase. Where does that happen now? Have you got any questions about what happens with, what exactly is happening in the command phase? What's the order of stuff? You know, let us know. Yeah, could be anything at all. We want to be your sounding board for the next half an hour or so while we're all enjoying a Friday beer. If you haven't yet put a photo of your beer in the Discord, well, where have you been? All right, where have you been?
Yeah.
I like encouraging drinking, which is... Or you can put a Diet Coke in there, that's fine. We're not discriminating, it's fine.
Beanbag, thanks to the teammate. Pop a fresh bevy into you, downs it first there. 25 members. 25 members, there you go.
25 members and we'll have a chug off.
Easy class.
Deal. I need to actually check there's enough beer in the fridge, but there will be.
We'll be okay. Yeah. Question on charges. I can't see anything in the rules that says you have to move a unit that is successfully charged into engagement range unless you have the range to make base-to-base contact. So let's just double check charge. I'll keep reading.
Yep, cool.
Instead, you have to move it a distance up to its charge roll. Does this mean you can set them up 3 away and when it's your turn to activate, pile in 3 inches, thus preventing any intervention or fight first? The enemy has it already engaged. I don't think so, but let's just double check what it says. So charging with a unit, let's talk it one step by step.
Once you've selected an eligible charge unit to declare a charge, you must select 1 or more enemy units within 12 of it to be the target of the charge. Targets of a charge do not need to be visible to the charging unit. You then make a charge roll for the charging unit by rolling 2d6. The result is the maximum number of inches each model in that unit can be moved if a charge move is possible. For a charge move to be possible, the charge roll must be sufficient to enable the charging unit to turn that move. So far, so good. With engagement range of every unit that you selected as a target of the charge, without moving within engagement range of an enemy unit that were not a target of the charge in unit coherency. Okay, so that's the sort of criteria so far. If any of these conditions cannot be met, the charge fails and no models in the charging unit move this phase. Otherwise, the charge is successful and the models in the charging unit make a charge move. Move each model a distance in inches up to the result of the charge roll. When doing so, each model in the charging unit must enter the charge move closer to one of the units selected as a target of a charge. So it's still, you fail. It's still saying that if you don't make the charge roll, you fail, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like,
if the distance roll is insufficient to move within engagement range, as it says here in this little box, whilst maintaining unit coherency, the charge fails.
Yeah.
So it still say if you're insufficient to make engagement range, which is an inch, you do fail. You can't end 3 away by the looks of it.
No.
So I'm just going to double check this.
It just basically says the charge fails and no models in the charging unit move this phase. So you can't move them because you failed the charge.
If you don't make engagement.
So as far as I'm aware, that still stays the same. The only thing we've noticed different about the charge phase, as I mentioned, is you now base if you can't.
You have to go base.
Yeah.
Hopefully that answered the question, the end stuff. I said there's that line that says if it's insufficient, you don't make engagement, you don't charge.
Yeah.
But if I've missed it, do let me know. We'll try and get that worked out.
One thing to jump in quickly is I would also argue that this is potentially one of the best laid out core rule books from a launch that I've seen, and I think this is. I've been around since 7th edition. Everything does feel really, really nice. Just everything in the order and how things. I know it seems obvious, but I think it's quite user friendly. This core book, you know what I mean? I really like it. So
yeah, exactly. Let's have a look. Here's an argument on Facebook. Overwatch needs a 6 to hit, but you don't roll any hits for torrent weapons. Therefore, you can't Overwatch with torrent. This is obviously wrong. Yeah, with torrent, it just says. Let me check the torrent roll. It's in weapon special rules, just after around the shooting phase.
Yep.
Torrent, I'm pretty sure, just says instead of rolling to hit, it just scores. It hits automatically. It might be just after shooting because it's about making attacks. Here you go.
Next one.
Next one.
Here we go.
Yeah, torrent. And they're not in alphabetical, which is very dumb.
Weapons with torrent in their profile are known as torrent weapons. Each time an attack is made with such a weapon, the attack automatically hits the target. So we now
so like Overwatch says, you have to roll a 6 to hit.
Yeah.
Ignoring any modifiers, but that's not a modifier. That's an ability.
Yeah.
So that was still triggered. So flamers are obviously very, very good in Overwatch.
Yep.
I like Overwatch as an option after move or charge declaration now. The big thing is Overwatch stratagem is after an opponent's made a move, which will be very funny when you watch the battle report tomorrow because I got it wrong. I thought it was just end of the movement phase, cheesy unit, but you'll see. Keep going, we'll find core stratagems. But the big thing about Fire Overwatch, here you go, Fire Overwatch, it says when you can use it is your opponent's movement or charge phase just after a unit is set up or when an enemy unit starts or ends a normal move, advance, fallback, or charge.
Yeah.
So that is huge because you don't actually Overwatch when you declare.
No.
So what it means is if you charge and fail a charge, they can't Overwatch.
Yes.
Which is cool because it's like you got one guy, one wound, you're going to make that charge and then you get Overwatch. It's awful because it always happens. It's always really cool to see. And then you make the charge or you fail the charge and then you like get Overwatch and you just die. Yeah,
and also like thematically, if you've not made the charge, you've not walked into range of the guns, right? Effectively, yeah. You've not made yourself known to the enemy,
exactly.
Which I really like the fact that actually you fail the charge, therefore you're staying put behind the tree,
and
then the enemy aren't shooting you. You know what I mean?
And it means you can stay out of range of certain weapons, such as flamer/torrent weapons.
Yep.
But now it's after it's made a charge move, which means if you make the charge, great. Now you're going to get Overwatched. However, it also means you can't hide from Overwatch because if you charge from behind a wall, they can't see you. No Overwatch, then you make the charge.
Yeah, and that was a bit feels bad. Like it was sort of like
great.
Yeah, it was great tactic, but also you're a bit like, mate, you're 2 inches from me. I'm going to flame that door in the building.
Yeah,
but, you know,
and you can't escape range of certain weapons, such as like really short range, high profile weapons like flamers if they're only 9 inches, weird pistols that are like loads of damage because you're really fusion pistols, exactly. Yeah. Multi melters being within half range or melters if you're just out of the melter range. So after the charge is really interesting because obviously you're always going to get to Overwatch pretty much if you're going to spend it. Because you're not going to be out of line of sight, and a lot of the units probably going to be able to see to be in engagement range because you have to make base to base. So it's going to be base to base of the unit. If you can.
I mean, if you're not, there's literally no gun in the game that's not going to be able to shoot.
No,
if you're firing Overwatch, everything in that squad shooting, right?
Yes,
so
exactly.
Not a problem on that front at all. Also, little stuff like obviously, it says unit starts or ends a normal advance, fallback, or charge move. It opens up more options as well for Overwatch, doesn't it? Basically, so.
Yeah. So obviously using it in the movement phase is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Pretty janky.
It feels a bit reactionary, right? So we've seen reactions.
Bullshit. It is, I think. I don't like it.
What I like about it is this is a new, so like for example, it's not a rinse and repeat of the last edition. There's going to be some new elements to this edition which are going to have to learn probably the hard way, which is actually quite fun in addition. You're like, oh, I didn't know you could Thousands and Rubric flame and this unit as I walked past. Yeah, you know what I mean? You're like, Rubric said bye-bye. And you're like, right, well, I've learned that now.
Yeah,
and that's quite fun about an edition, I think. You know what I mean? So you'll learn the hard way. We all will. But we'll do it together.
Yeah, exactly. Starting to wish, rather than just an interview with Stu, the 5 channels had rules input today. So, it's quite interesting because, me being me, when all the drama was happening a couple months ago.
Hi everyone. Can we all I'm going to say is grab a beer. The next 30 seconds to a minute might be interesting.
I asked Games Workshop if they'd be happy for me to interview the studio team to talk about the 9th edition dramas such as Custodies and talk about 10th edition launch. all under supervision, and I said, no one can interview the studio team.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Excuse me, what the fuck?
I've come to ask for an interview again.
So bollocks to them. I didn't want to interview them anyway. It's cringe. They're all really shit, those videos. I'm joking, they're not.
All we wanted to do
anyway. It'd be really boring.
Yeah.
I don't
all
like
we
it.
wanted to do is say,
people.
why did you ruin the charge face, Stu? Why, Stu?
I think I must have put the idea into the head and they gave it to everyone else instead.
Also, we'd have done a better job. Can I say that?
Interviews are boring. I hate watching interviews. They're so boring.
I mean, would you prefer to watch Friday Night Bits? Is this a thing we need to do? Are we enjoying this?
They all look a bit awkward. I will say, Grim After Dark. Grim After Dark, you know, the podcast with Val Heffelfinger in.
Val's a great man, by the way.
All those boys, they put out a video about the interviews. It was very, very funny, so I would highly recommend it. Can you imagine? No, I imagine they probably watched my content and went, nah, we can't put him in for today, get murdered, get eaten alive.
Everyone's done serious interviews and we'd be like, Sue, how can we break this rule? Help us. Grenades, discuss. I don't know. So.
Yeah, exactly. Stu, custodians, what the fuck were you thinking? Because Stu, how's watching those World Eaters going?
Can we discuss Forge World yet? Can we discuss Forge World? When's Forge World time? I feel like we need like Forge World time.
I posted a picture on the Discord, right?
Guys.
This is a preview for non-members.
Can we have a show of hands in the chat while Mike is doing this? Who has a Contemptor, a Leviathan, a Khitan, a Decimator?
Khitan and Decimators is so brutal. So
if you have a Brass Scorpion, I will come and hug you.
It is honestly awful, to be honest.
What? Nah, the right. Okay, this is going to sound. When this got my attention massively was when they said Leviathans are Contemptors. RGW mad?
Yeah.
Did they smoke something green and smelly one night and
Look at this. Look at this t-shirt I'm wearing for tomorrow. No Leviathan. This t-shirt is getting Legends tomorrow. It's going to Legends, so make sure you grab it at hellstormapparel.com. Link in the description.
Yeah. We should probably do like an after 10th edition that just like you've just done a cross through line of it. It's like, no more.
What a shit t-shirt we're wearing for Lodge of 10th.
Yeah. It's like you planned it, right?
Yeah, it's really
did we
bullshit.
tell everyone 10 o'clock tomorrow morning about the chance for a premiere?
Might have done.
10 o'clock tomorrow morning for a premiere, yeah. Don't waste this time, chat. We have this.
I'm really surprised who wants to be asked questions they don't want to answer. Yeah, but you know, it could have been worked out, but it was really rubbish that I got like pied basically.
Is there anything that you've maybe seen on Warcom that you're excited or not so excited for? Any particular things that you've seen? Obviously, I've seen a few Facebook groups. Death Guard being a little bit maybe over eagerly salty at the moment. Let's see what happens when the people like. Is there anything particular that you're like really excited for?
No, we're also reeling on 4-roll, mate. The fact that I've got double Contemptor, double Leviathan, 9 Rapier batteries, all of the Whirlwinds, all of the Sikarim chassis, all painted in Bloodraven's colours. Mate, it's so bad. It's so bad. We
should do a video, right, where we like have like a condemned corner in the studio.
I'm gonna have to set
just
like
a shell.
I'm gonna have to do that on it. Like that guy from Fantasy, remember?
Yeah. But it's made of resin, so we might all end up like getting high afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Well, great party time. But yeah, like World Eaters is the big one. Look at their range that's so small, relying on Decimators and Khitan maybe.
Well, effectively that was their DACA, right?
Yeah.
Especially the Decimators with Soul Burner Petards. Yeah.
Yeah, Decimators, and then like what's the other one? The Blood Slaughterers.
Oh, the Slaughterers. Yeah,
like
which were they were like basically like Onaga June crawlers that had gone through some world eaterness.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like they're not going to Heresy because they don't have rules in Heresy.
No. So effectively, they're models that don't belong anywhere currently, which is quite sad, right? Iconic units, and they look incredible. You know what I mean? So it's
really disappointing in my opinion. And I tweeted about it, and so many people are coming at me who don't follow me. I don't know who they are. They've got like 5 followers, and they're like, "Well, you can still play them in match play, just not tournaments." I'm like, does anyone care about not tournament coverage in Warhammer? No.
And the problem is, like, look, if you're gonna have a pickup game with friends, and look, 90% of the people in this chat in the first few weeks of 10th edition will have a pickup game with their friends, and they might still feel it, but you'll still have that feeling of, I'm eventually, in the next few months, potentially going to take this to an organised event. Whether it's seriously competitive or not, organised events will probably follow the rules of their legends. So, like, you'll feel bad about getting them out. You'll go, I might as well use this
Because you're going to have to ask, because a lot of people aren't going to expect a Legends unit. Yeah, they're fine for max play. With your friends in a basement, playing in a local store, it's fine. But if you're grabbing a pickup game, that's where the big problem. If pickup games is like one of the most times people are going to play, most common type. It's like, oh, does anyone fancy a game Tuesday night? 2,000 points at 7 o'clock. We all do that. They're the people who are going to really suffer, because it's like, oh, I brought a Leviathan. Oh, well, you can't use a Leviathan, sorry. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, this is like, I'm practicing a tournament style list. I'm practicing like an event or whatever. It's bullshit, to be honest. Yeah, and
the problem we have as well is that they're so readily available on shelves in plastic now.
Yeah, the fact they're in plastic is really odd.
Really odd.
Yeah, because when I saw the Relic Contempted from Forge World get like discontinued along with Gabriel Angelos, I'm gonna have to burn him as well.
No, not you, Gabriel.
I'm gonna have to burn him as well. But yeah, it was just like, oh, there's a plastic one. That's why they've done that. Yeah. Anyway. There was a question from Mercenary. Hi, Mercenary. Thanks for being a legend. Actual 10th edition question: is the grenade stratagem used instead of shooting or on top of it?
Ooh, I just had that.
So a lot of units have already been shown off. Yeah. And you might notice that some of them have the grenades keyword, but they don't have a grenade shooting weapon. So grenade stratagem is a replacement for a shooting attack. Yes. So now you're not going to have 3 guys shooting bolters and then 1 guy throwing a grenade. It's going to be 1 guy's going to use a stratagem. No one else in the army can do it. Yeah.
So you're shooting, obviously when you're shooting phase, 1 grenade, so somebody can't use in the charge phase.
Can't use it in the charge phase now, just your shooting phase.
1 grenade unit from your army that is not within engagement range of any enemy units and has not been selected to shoot this phase. Select 1 enemy unit that is not within engagement range of the unit and is within 8 inches and visible to your grenades unit. Roll 66 for each roll plus that enemy suffers 1 mortal wound.
Yeah, like 66 and 4 up, so you're going to do like 3 mortal wounds at a time.
Yeah, it's a bit situational, isn't it? It's a bit like if someone's running, I don't know, if you're running near someone and you're a bit like, that's a tough Terminator, I'm going to try and chance a D3 and get 3 and take out a Terminator, you're a bit like, fair enough, right? You can maybe give it a blast, but it's mainly like, I don't know, maybe say Terminator drop in your backfield and you've got a unit of 5 Assault Intercessors guarding an objective, you're like, oh, could really do it, trying to shift some of these. You'd maybe chance it, but...
It's cheeky for like throwing into something like a knight who might be nearly dead or like nearly degraded. Yeah. Because it's obviously like, mortal wounding something very tough is a lot easier than trying to throw a weapon. Yeah. Like a strength 6 minus 1 D3. That's better in that situation, but against smaller units it's pretty rubbish. It's like, oh, I killed 2 dudes.
Well, imagine like say a Terminator Librarian from the new launch box set drops in, back lines, and you go, actually my bolters won't do anything, but this might. With some of the other shooting, it might be able to do something. You actually maybe worth a shot, right? So, yeah. Have to see what happens, right? See how it gets played. It might be one of those stratagems, guys, that in 6 months we never see. Or it might be a very situational.
It's one of those that when people remember about it, they'll be like, oh shit, that's really good. And then they'll forget about it for the most time.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's when people start flicking through books and they're like, I really need something to kill this character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, without having to engage, it's only 1 command point. You always have less command points because you don't start with command points anymore. You only have 1 per turn. Everyone gains 1 per turn, doesn't matter what mission pack there is. Yeah. But like only having the 1 every turn, that's quite a valuable resource. Like as an Iron Hands player for all of 9th edition, never started with any anyway.
If you could have started with -2, you'd have started with -2 as an Iron Hands player.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, you'd have spent them so much. You'd have been like, this is a character, this has got 5 buffs, and also you can't target him for the rest of the game. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh, and he's in the deficit dropped in forever, basically.
Yeah, who cares? So, it's rough if you didn't paint like one of the legions. Yeah, I think I'm going to repaint a lot of my Forge World into Iron Hands, actual Iron Hands for Heresy.
Heresy, yeah.
It's a literally non-change. It isn't a non-change because a lot of people don't like to play with Legends units because they don't get updated ever. Yep. So like in 6 months' time, that's fine. They'll probably be okay. In a year, they're probably going to be really, really expensive and unusable where they're so bad that you wouldn't take them. Yep. But you still will. And then maybe when 11th comes out in 3 years, are they going to still make Legends rules for units they haven't supported for 3 years? Unlikely. Then they just become paperweights. Yep. So...
I'm interested to see what the increasing toughness does across most of the games. I think it'd be interesting to see. I mean, we don't know for certain, but some of the previews and stuff we've seen at the moment, we think that there's going to be quite a hike in toughness across some of the units and stuff like that. So it'd be interesting to see how much effect that has on longevity of vehicles, knights, that sort of stuff. It'd be interesting to see how long they can sort of like stick around for. If there's how much people have to start catering more anti-tank into their lists and stuff like that. That's quite interesting, right? So
yeah, exactly. There's been a couple of questions just to move on. Talk about attached units. So
you've come to the right place. You've come to the right place.
Are you feeling attached or detached?
Detached.
Okay,
I'm always detached from you.
I'm semi-detached. So a lot of questions about like characters joining units. So there's a question about how does it work. It does mention it in here in the command phase section because units join characters join units at the same time as you declare reserves.
Yes.
So like, are you going to put anything in transport? Are you going to put characters into any units? That all happens at the same time. And it talks about like the question is like, if I have a psyker in a unit, does the entire unit become a psyker in terms of anti-psyker? So let's have a look. The starting strength is equal to the combined strength of all units added. If either the leader or the bodyguard unit attached unit is destroyed, the starting strength remains. The unit is changed to be equal to its original starting strength. For the purposes of rules that are triggered when unit is destroyed, such as triggered when individual attached bodyguard, it just all adds together, but it doesn't really say. Let's have a look. Page 39. Let's have a look at the attached because it doesn't say that's about being destroyed.
Just while you click into that as well, quite interesting on the front of. We've not really discussed unit coherence as well. That like because now characters are going to be a little bit more commonplace in units. That actually the unit coherency rule used to be like if you were 5 models or above, you had to stay within 2 inches of one model or 2 models if more than 7. If that makes any sense. Well, now it's actually gone up to 6 because they're assuming that people might be, for example, running a 5-man squad with a character in, right?
Yeah.
So you can still string them out as
aggressors that come in 6s usually.
Yeah.
Blade guard example, they all like come 3 to 6.
Yeah.
So people might want to run 6, but yeah, like 5-man and an attached character is very true as well.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. Actually, you now don't have to do the standard thing of like making sure that you're in coherence at the ends of the lines effectively. So that's quite good.
So for the leader, it's a deployment abilities leader. So it says you treat them as one unit. Well, you attach them at the start. They become a bodyguard unit. You always wound against the bodyguard unit, which says while a unit contains a leader, it is known as an attached unit, and with the exception of rules that are triggered when units are destroyed, it is treated as a single unit for all rules purposes. So it's a single unit with a psychic, for example, a Farseering Guardians or whatever. I don't know if they could attach that. Just an example. Let's say Terminator Librarian in a Terminator squad. That goes with how that works. They are one unit, so it's a Terminator squad with a Terminator Librarian, and the unit is one unit, so the unit has the keyword.
Yes.
So imagine, anti-psyker might work against the thing, but it also says each time a target attacks a unit, until the attacking unit is resolved, all of its attacks, you must use a toughness characteristic of a bodyguard model in that unit, even if the leader has a different toughness characteristic. So it kind of says like they're one unit for all rules purposes, but also you only roll against the bodyguard unit.
Yeah.
For toughness purposes, but not rules purposes.
So let's say, for example, what's the Tyranid big bug in the box that's really good against psychers?
The psychophage.
Psychophage. So the question is, as rules is written, are we saying that if it was targeting the Terminator squad with the Librarian in, would also get the benefits of
they are all a psyker because it's a psychic unit.
So therefore on 4 pluses, they're getting
shenanigans.
mulched. They're getting mulched. Yeah.
So from what I can tell, even though you're rolling against the toughness of the unit, it's a psychic unit, even though there's only one psyker in there, which you're not actually rolling against, which I don't think is right. That's weird.
But then again, it comes back to the problem is as well, in the unit, the person that's being targeted gets to decide where the wounds have been taken, right? But the problem is that's after somebody's done the attack roll, so you can't really you can't be like, you're going to put this on your Librarian, because if so, I get 4 pluses. Does that make any sense?
Exactly.
The order's a bit off, isn't it?
Now, it's nice that you can decide that before the game starts, if their entire army is Collectus Assassins, and it's like anti-psyker 1, 1 plus.
Then you're like, I'm not going to put anything in squads.
All my psychic characters are going to stay at the back of the board, all my other units are going to run forward.
Yeah.
I'm going to just take it on the chin. But yeah, so it's treated as one unit, so I don't see why you wouldn't get anti versus that unit if it's psychic with anti-psyker.
Yeah.
So
interesting. We'll have to see how that plays, right?
And the psychic keyword gives no benefit to the unit joints. Now, I can't talk about index cards because we're talking about the core rules. You know, boy might be angry at not getting an interview yesterday, but I can't break the law either.
Breaking the law.
So I'm sure we'll see more about that soon.
Yeah.
But there is nothing in the core rules that says psychic keyword does this. That's like that. So that might tell you quite a lot there. So I can't tell you about individual indexes. I'd love to, just chat away. But yeah, in the core rules, there's nothing about the psychic keyword giving a special rule.
No.
It's not even mentioned.
No.
It's just the keyword.
It's
like infantry.
Yes.
It's like
deep strike, whatever else. It's that. It's just
no, because deep strike as an ability. The deep strike's a bad example.
Yeah,
it's just psychic.
Yeah.
You know.
Assault weapons. a better example.
No, because that's an ability. It doesn't say anything about psychic in here.
Here he is. 45 minutes in and he's...
Just savaging, mate.
Absolutely just
savage.
rinsing me, innit?
Yeah, rinsing you to high heaven, because no, it doesn't do anything. There is no buff for being a psycho, barring the special rules that you might have on your index cards, which we've seen for the previewed index cards.
Yeah, I've seen a few out there. A few in the wild is the best way to describe it, right? So...
there is a thing with the psychic that doesn't seem intended. Let's talk to me about it. Ask me a question and I'll try and have a look. In your opinion, dudes, how different are 9th core rules or 10th core rules? Generally, is there anything massive that we need to be aware of? So, movement with fly, charge phase. So, we do actually have a list with all the changes, which I'll probably be sharing with the Discord.
You've broken it.
I've broken it.
There you go. That's right.
Which we can share with the Discord soon. But obviously... Like, just as a few examples, like just in the core rules, before you even start a turn, unit coherency is now 7 models rather than more than 5.
Yep.
Engagement range is 1 inch and 1 inches horizontally and 5 inches high. Obviously, 5 inches high is still
and it
a thing.
used to be previously 3, I would think.
I don't know. I think that's AOS. I think I made a mistake on the notes, but ignore me. And then the sequencing has been clarified pretty much, but it's players who turns it is decides the order unless there's no turn and you roll off.
Yep.
And that used to be like for certain things, but now it's all the time. If there's no order, you just roll off. And then the other thing is Battle Shock.
Battle Shock. We need to come up with like a cool Hellstorm copyright name.
Soundbite. Battle Shock.
Yeah, but like
Battle Shock.
Like the BS phase.
The BS phase.
Can we call it the BS phase? Can we get like a T-shirt? I'm trying to think like what's the new like. What do I think? Like we need some sort of like cool thing that people start adopting that we can be like in 10th edition. Do you know we started that at Hellstormwargaming and now the entire community are like saying, do a BS test.
Do a bullshit test.
Yeah, bullshit test. Yeah.
But the main change with Battle Shock, which some people might have noticed or might not, is you do it when you're below half strength. So if you're unit 5, lose 3, below half strength. However, knights, if they're below half strength in terms of number of wounds, they also do Battle Shock tests. Which means an entire knight can no longer hold an objective and can't have a stratagem used on it if it's got less than half wounds and it fails a leadership. Yep. So single model units like dreadnoughts, tanks, knights can fail Battle Shock still.
Leadership's now important, right?
Yeah.
Effectively, yeah.
So no model is fearless unless it has a rule that specifically says so. Because previously you could go, oh, knights who don't have morale, whatever. Yeah. But now they do. Now it's important because you do 11 wounds to it, or however wounds they've got. I think they've got maybe 20 or something, 24. Do half wounds, fail a Battle Shock, can't hold an objective, can't use a stratagem on it. Yeah. Imagine that happening to a Titan. Exactly that, Master Arcade. Yeah. Imagine it to a
we saw preview today, actually. Some of the Titan stuff was previewed on Warcom, wasn't it, today? And there was a Warlord Titan which have 100 wounds now. Yeah. Get it to 49. You've done your work, man.
Get it to 49.
It's useless if it fails after that, right?
Yeah,
pretty
unlucky.
much.
Unlucky.
Absolutely.
But also, Decnal, as you say as well, insane bravery stratagem to auto pass a Battle Shock is after you fail. So when you fail, you spend a command point to pass instead. Yes. Which is really good because it means you get that chance of rolling, which is also cool because it's like, because everyone goes, oh, I'll use auto pass. It's like, go on, roll it, see what happens. Yeah. Well, no, you just roll it now and then you decide if you want to pass later. Yeah. So.
Also like the fact that in the command, so basically in the command phase as order of things go, so you would do your command phase abilities and then it progresses to Battle Shock, right? Imagine, let's say, for example, you yeet a unit with a command phase ability somewhere and it then fails Battle Shock. You're like, oh, do you know what I mean? Like, imagine like, I've lined this 3-man squad of Death Company up with 3 Thunderhammers left because I had a squad of 10 and they fail Battle Shock or whatever, and you're literally just like, well, you know what I mean? So that's gone well, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, exactly. It's quite funny. Do you update the player's code? I don't know if they have the player's code in here. I can't remember if I've seen it. I can't remember.
I don't think I've seen it either.
No.
I mean, the player's code is 2 rules.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be very to it.
Don't be a
Don't be dick. And don't be called Patrick. I'm joking.
A little thing that did change. I can't remember if this was the case in 9th edition, so I'm probably going to sound dumb if it doesn't, because I consider him a professional Warhammer player. If you moved a model, did the unit count as moving, or was it just the model? Because I can't remember, but now, if it was the case, it's one of those rules where it's like, you take it for granted, then you try and think, and you try and work out it's different. If a unit moves, like any model in the unit, you count as making a move. Yeah. The unit makes a normal move, which is big for like heavy weapons.
Yes.
I think it might have been 8th edition this, but I'm just like,
I
just
don't think it was in
times.
9, but I feel like someone in chat will tell us the truth.
Yeah, maybe. So if you do elect to use one model, move one model.
Yeah, because it'd be a way to move. Like, this is a really bad example, but let's say you had a heavy weapons team as part of a guard unit, and you'd move the 9 guardsmen, but not the heavy weapons team.
But that might be 8th edition.
Yeah, I don't think like I've seen that.
That's the problem when you do it live. You can't go back and check. You just sound dumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
Disembark's had a huge change.
Yep.
So you embark if you're wholly within 3, not wholly within 3.
Yep.
And also you can get out after a unit's moved, which is cool. But you're always treated as making a full move, so you never count as stationary, etc.
Yes.
So that is cool because obviously you get like repulsors, which can move quite fast. So you can disembark there. Repulsors can like do funky stuff. I'm pretty sure they showed off the data sheet for that. Land raiders have assault ramps and stuff like that, so they can. I'm pretty sure they can disembark and then move, disembark and still charge. Maybe.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah. But the funny thing, what I like about that is that there was nothing worse than, let's say, for example, let's take an impulsor, for example, move it and then having to spend a turn with your unit just sat inside in the middle, being like, well, next turn I'm going to get these out, but for now it has to stay there. And then you do that thing where you'd sort of be like, so now if I want to get these out, I have to get them out, and then the impulsor's going to shoot off a bit further. It was a bit weird, wasn't it? It just felt a bit like, I'm leaving you guys behind.
In a bit, lads.
Yeah, I'm off to go and screen some Gretchen. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a bit weird, wasn't it? So yeah.
Cheers, Organ. I think I might be thinking of 8th edition for some reason. Does it say how precision shots USR works? If it lets you choose which model to remove, then that's how it works. So the unit has a legion attached. No, so precision is specifically each time an attack is made with such a weapon. If a character model is visible to the attacking model, you can choose the character to take it instead. So you roll to hit and wound against the. So you roll to hit and win against a bodyguard unit, but the precision rule allows you to specifically target the character if you can see them, if they're an eligible unit to shoot if they weren't in an attached unit. So that's like the difference. It's like you can target that character instead. So sniper rifles are really good.
Yes.
Because they all have precision.
Yes.
So.
Which again, it'd be interesting to see as sort of metas, and we all get to know what the hell happens after the game's fully released and the edition's fully released. It'd be really interesting to see what people take, right? You know what I mean? Like, will we start seeing units of snipers back on the board? Come on, Rattlings, if you're still there, please bring back the Rattling meta. There's never been a Rattling meta, but we all want a Rattling meta, okay? Imagine somebody just turning up and being like, 30 Rattlings, bitches. You've never seen these bad boys before, have you? Quite cool.
That would be fun.
Hide your captains from these little squad dudes with little sniper rifles. Yeah.
But I was going to say, what you also can't do is in the shooting phase, you can't slow roll with the same weapon anymore. So there used to be some like weird jank where you shoot one model at a time, then one model at a time, and there's like weird rules that if you've already taken a wound, then it gets better, etc. Yes. Now it says if you have a unit with guns, they all have to shoot at the same time. So it does specifically tell you to fast roll them. It might be a way to try and speed things up as well. Yeah. If you've got like multiple bolters, you just measure them all at the same time and roll them all at the same time. It's not an option. You have to. It
felt weird that a buff would come in the way through a shooting phase of a squad. All of a sudden, for example, it was like this squad all of a sudden got better as we got to the 4th guy. You know what I mean? It was a bit weird, wasn't it? You know what I mean? So, and then you'd save your massive gun for the end, and you'd be like, well, this is what I wanted or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And also, monsters can shoot out of combat, much like a guard turret.
Everyone got the Lehman Russ ability.
But you can shoot monsters as well. Yeah. If they're in combat. Monsters just can't be tagged anymore in terms of shooting, which is pretty wild.
Yeah. So you got Carnifex, you can still shoot that Carnifex, but it can shoot you if you had the bio cannon version or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you can like try and tag something that can either shoot in or out of combat. Now it's all -1 to hit. Yep. It's out of -1 to hit if you're shooting into combat on that out. Unless you're shooting pistols, even if you're not in combat, which I thought was interesting as well. So like pistols in combat with infantry, you can shoot into combat as normal. But now if you're outside of the combat and you shoot pistols, you're not -1 to hit. Whereas if you shot a las cannon, you'd be -1. Yeah. Which I thought was quite cool. I thought that was a nice little thing of pistols being like, oh, you can shoot into other people's combat as well as your own and not be -1 to hit. Yeah. Makes you think again, let's say, for example, the melter pistols that like sort of the Sanguinary Guard have, like, are they all of a sudden going to be like actually quite useful? Who knows? Because they're like a pistol type weapon, right? They've always been like a pistol. Yeah. So it's like, oh, I can shoot into combat, no minus. I can shoot into other people's combat and no minus as well. So basically, the wings fly past, and then they're just like,
You're like full on die hard, like
wanted. You know, throwing melter pistols around the corner so they don't hit the mates.
Yeah. And then you just see the wasted sign come up on the screen as a camera effects, just like just dies.
But the other thing as well is saving throws can't be buffed more than +1. You can't multi-stack saving throws. It's plus or minus 1 in terms of abilities. Armor penetration's obviously ignored. That's not an ability. That's a function. But like you can't have like let's say a storm shield gave you +1 save like it did in last edition.
Yes.
And then you're in cover, so you get another +1 save. That can't happen because you can only modify the save by 1 or -1. So you can't multi-stack plus saves. No, there's different ways.
You can't just be like, I've got to 0 up. No, you haven't. Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Basically, yeah. So,
which is a massive change because obviously before you could multi-stack saves as much as you like.
Yeah.
It's always been the same for hit and wounds. That's capped at +or -1. But now it saves as well, which I thought was really big.
It stops you again. Let's say, for example, you take a Custodes who have 2 up armors, and then you go right. Well, I've given them let's say, for example, let's play 9th edition in my head, but you've got the banner that gives them +1. You give the cover save 1, and all of a sudden they also get a +1 armor save.
So you ignore like AP4.
Yeah, and you
like that.
Still got 2+ an AP4. Hey, it's just all these invisible void shields that you've managed to get through cover, buff, command phase thing, strategy.
Two up, pal.
And you're literally
it's in making attacks on saving throw. An unmodified saving throw 1 always fails. A saving throw can never be improved by more than +1. So again, you can't like save stack. So again, let's say for an example, a special rule. I'm trying to think of something like cover. Yeah. And then something that gives you +1 save. They're 2 great examples.
Yeah. For example, the guard stratagem, like there used to be that go to ground one, which is you get like +2 to your save. You know what I mean? Or whatever it was, though. That sort of thing of like all of a sudden it's like no, it's just +or -1. For example, that stratagem I imagine wouldn't exist, but you get the idea. So
how does lone operative work? I'm sure I saw that as a question.
Yeah.
How does lone operative work? Hi, Rich. How you doing?
Hey,
so lone operative is essentially like character protection rules. So lone operative is like if you're a character.
It's like the old lookout cert, right?
Similar, because you don't need to be near another unit. So if you're not attached to a unit and you're doing your thing, having a great time, on your own,
you're boogieing by the L shape,
you're
loving it,
talking Primarchs, the biggest thing on the battlefield.
Yeah, so you've got your captain and your librarian, and they're just like, so have you seen Rabute yesterday? He's having a great time, isn't he?
So you can only target them if you're within 12.
Yes.
So you can't like snipe them across the battlefield. Not even if you have precision. Not if you've got a sniper rifle, unless it specifically says. Cheers, Andy. Have a good time, mate. Thanks for the 2. Very kind of you. But yeah, so lone operative, essentially it's a character protection more than 12 away. So you're within 12.
Yep.
Dunzo. Off you go.
Yeah.
But outside of 12, long range, no sniper rifles, can't target yet unless it specifically says can target lone operative. So if it has a rule that can do that, that's cool. But yeah, that's it. So mercenary, thank you for 5, mate. Worst part of 10th.
Worst part of 10th.
I'm going to have to check my notes for the worst part. Okay. I feel like I've talked a lot about the worst part. I've talked about
you're going to miss the charge jank a little bit.
The charge jank is just weird.
What's the worst part about 10th?
What do you think is the worst part? So again, it's actually, if you missed it, I was talking about how you have to charge base to base if you can make it, and if you can't make it, you fail the charge. The thing is you can, whilst it's got rid of piling shenanigans and consolidating shenanigans, you can actually start doing some really weird stuff where you can charge a rubbish unit first to block a charge. Let's say you're 5 inches away and it's a 5-inch charge. You can use another unit to charge first to block that 5-inch charge and make that charge have to go somewhere else to make base to base. So which forces your charge to be longer, but it also allows your units to be a little bit more coy with how they charge if you set them up correctly, which is actually a higher skill level to do than trying to work out what combat was last edition. So it's really interesting. It's really interesting where they've gone, it all has to go base to base, but multi-charging suddenly gets very, very weird.
Yeah, it becomes a mini game. Where you have to go, I need this 10-man Gretchen squad to help shunt my mega knobs around the board.
So I charge my Gretchen first because I make that 3-inch charge. I block my 3-inch charge, so now it's a 7-inch charge, but I can get onto an objective.
Yeah.
Interesting, behind them. Yeah, there's a lot of weird junk you can do.
I think we've not really discussed this one. I don't know, and I think it's more of a. This is more because I've got a little bit of a tournament organising heads on. Is I don't know how terrain is going to be massively affected by this addition and how the correct setups are going to look and feel. So, for example, Knights, there's towering, the line of sight is different, obscuring's not what it used to be, obviously. You know, for example, for those that don't know, but like if you had a window in terrain, you can shoot through that window and you can see models now. And instantly that goes, do we need to be blocking up windows as a event organizer? Do we need to be...
specifically for towering.
Towering, sorry, I was referring to the Knights, apologies, yeah. So,
yeah,
but
specifically for towering models like Imperial Knights, you can see, you essentially go back to true line of sight, whereas before we have obscuring. Now obscuring is still a thing, but it's not called obscuring, it's just for ruins now. They have the visibility keyword or visibility part, where you can only see into the building if they're in the building, you can only see out of the building if you're in the building, but you can't see directly through if neither of you are in the building. But Imperial Knights, they don't suffer that. Aircraft don't suffer that. It just goes back to true line of sight, where it's like if you can see them, you can see them. You can't see through walls, but you can see through windows, you can see through doors.
If there's a crack in the terrain, you can see through it, right?
Yeah, and that's going to be huge for Imperial Knights and towering units and aircraft because they've been screwed by visibility, but now it's just gone completely the wrong way. I think it may be too far.
Yeah,
maybe a -1 to hit would have been fun.
Yeah,
because you go through a building, but it's like all the terrain sets these days have buildings with just windows, just wide open because that's normal.
Yeah. And also for aesthetics, right, as well. It looks cool.
Yeah,
you don't want no one wants to see a sheet of MDF on a board, effectively, you know what I mean, just vertical MDF, you know? And I just wonder how that's going to look and feel when we get to the nitty-gritty of a few weeks in. And, you know, if you got 3 or 4 Knight players turning up, are those the games that stand out as everyone else is playing in the same rule set, and that isn't? And then that's not me trying to be like, Knights are the problem. We don't know for certain. I just wonder how it'll play. They just, for me, seem like the obvious one to go, well, they're going to have the towering effect keyword. You know what I mean? So what does that look like in the future? You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to see. But again, we don't know for certain that's the worst part. I just go, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I agree. Is your hair pink? Yes, I lost a bet with chat. You'll see the video coming out soon.
I like it when Mikey loses a bet with chat. I really do.
The worst part of it is I don't have it yet. That's fair. I mean, you can read the core rules, but like index cards is a bit rubbish, so they're not releasing them for ages. Can you talk about the mission cards? I can talk about the mission cards because they're part of the core rules, I believe. I mean, it doesn't say they're not.
Are they in the core rules section of the book?
They're not in the core rules section of the book, so maybe I can't talk about the mission cards.
Do you want to be triple show and me and chat will have a great 5 minutes together?
I don't know if I can. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think some people have, thinking it's part of the core rules, but I don't know. Maybe I won't show anything on camera, but I'll just talk about the general vibe. General Gambits have been shown off by a couple of channels, I believe.
Okay.
So,
cool.
Yeah, the way you select secondaries is interesting because you draw a primary, which some of them feel quite familiar, like taking hold. That's in there. Hold 1, hold 2.
Yeah.
But then, like the secondaries are quite interesting because
everyone says don't risk it.
Don't risk it. And the secondaries are quite cool because I don't know anything about them.
No, that's great.
I'm sure they're great.
Yeah. Secondaries are secondaries.
Listen, lads, 10 o'clock tomorrow. See how the mission works.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
I'm pleased to say Elliot is on the 10 o'clock premiere tomorrow.
Elliot's been studying the blade.
Elliot is a new man. Am I allowed to say that?
Is he?
Elliot has...
You don't see the full game.
Elliot has rejoined Hellstorm Wargaming as potentially the man with the most knowledge. You know, like when, did anyone watch, what was the thing that had the monkey with the big brain as a kid's cartoon? And he used to fly around in a spaceship. What was that? Was it Powerpuff Girls? It was Powerpuff. It was. Yeah. I feel like Elliot's that guy now. He's like, my brain is so big it's not contained anymore. That's Elliot. He's been studying that hard.
He's good.
Elliot's been studying 9th edition for 10th edition.
Yeah, so exactly.
Please, tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Tomorrow at 10.
Wargaming.
I will show you.
We're going to be there in the chat as we walk around the UK Games Expo. All right? I will be there on my phone being like, I just do that in the comments all the time. Okay. So.
Can a unit hold an objective with OC0 if it's uncontested? That's a great question. I don't think so because you have to have a number of OC on the objective. Now I'm just going to find the objective page just to double confirm that. But that would be interesting if you can hold it anyway, but you just can't stop other people taking it.
I believe they can't.
I'm just trying to remember.
It's just whether the core rules say.
Yeah, if I'd spotted that, I think I would have wrote it down. The fact I haven't wrote it down doesn't look good.
No.
But do not trust my dumb brain.
No.
My dumb mojo jojo brain.
What does objective control say? I think objective control is going to be interesting. I think you and Ellie demonstrated quite well in tomorrow. In
using it specifically the core rules.
In using just the core rules tomorrow. Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah. But objective control is going to be good, and I think the change that is there were so many times you get to your brain would be fried by turn 4 of a game, and you'd be like, who holds this? Well, I'm worth this many models, and I need to get this many models on it, but I'm worth double. But that's what, and you literally just go, and you now everything's worth a numerical point. So you go, this intercessor is worth 2. Yeah, therefore I know I need to get 4 points on this objective to knock these 3 orcs off. I'm guessing what the OCs are, but you get the idea. And you go from there, you go, well, I don't actually need to kill you. I've got, and that brings a little bit more confidence when you've got an objective or not.
Yeah, for
Whereas
sure.
in the last edition, it was a bit like, can we agree that I need to get this many on there? And I feel like now we've got a bit more solidarity.
It's still going to be the same as that, but there's going to be a lot more maths involved.
Yeah, but you've got a physical number to look at, right?
Models,
yeah.
Or knights being 10, it's like, what's this worth? What's that worth? Are your battle shots? They're not worth anything doing this. To clarify, for objective control and counting a 0, I don't think you can. Because it says every model has an objective control value listed on its data sheet. But I should say at the start of the game, every model that holds an objective holds the objective at the start of the game. So you either have uncontested or contested objectives, which no one's holding, or you're holding it, or your opponent's holding it. So it says determining player's level of control over an objective marker. Add together the OC characteristic for all models from that player's army that are within range of the objective marker. You are 0. You have no models on the objective.
Yeah.
So it doesn't say you add up the number of models, and all the models equal 0 because they count as nothing.
Yeah.
So a player will control an objective marker at the end of any phase if their level of control over it is greater than their opponent's. Your opponent's level of control is also 0 because they've got no models on there.
Contested.
So it's contested because it's 0-0.
Yes,
so,
you are balanced out, right? Well, I think one thing that 0 level control models would do in my head, and I might be wrong, could you try and could you stick everything on an objective and be like, no, you can't stand on this objective, I don't control it, but you don't either. You
could if you blocked off the capture range, because obviously you can't stand on the middle, so you dodge the middle. Yeah, you can stop people actually grabbing it because your OC is 0. Theirs is 0 because it's got no models on it.
Yeah.
So you can't hold an objective with OC 0.
That's a very niche thing you'll never probably do it again. But
No. So I said you add up the number of models or level of control from your army within range and their army within range.
Yes.
They've got nothing in range. Your level of control is 0 because you're a battle shot, for example.
Yeah.
So it's 0-0, which is contested because it's equal.
Yeah.
So,
and I need to just check Warcom. I think Warcom previewed a unit that potentially had 0
OC. Interesting.
So just
indeed.
bear with me while I just triple check before we go into that, because it is quite an interesting thought as well. So,
as far as line of sight is concerned, are we still using can see any point in the model, or more like 7 where it's must be able to see 50%? So no, it is any part of the model. The difference is now is you are likely to get cover saves if you're not fully visible. So it has a visibility section right at the start, like what is visible, what isn't visible. Like here, determining visibility right at the beginning. So it says if you are slightly obscured in terrain rules, for example, a ruin, if you're slightly obscured by a ruin, you get cover, even if you're not in it. So cover can intercept armor saves, etc.
Yep.
So the Dark Angels banner adds 1 OC. Ignoring the attach rate bonus, would a battle shock mean they were OC 0 or AC 1? Ignoring the detachment bonus, let's have a look at battle shocked. It might just say the unit counts as 0 no matter what. Objective controls of all models is 0. So if the banner gives them +1, maybe, but it's +1 to 0, so I guess they count as 1. That still only counts as 1.
Yes. Yeah, that's very much that meme, isn't it? Oh, yeah. No, I can't confirm, so I'm not going to say anything because I can't see the thing that I was thinking.
We didn't take demo copies from Warhammer Fest now.
No,
they just arrived very quickly afterwards. I didn't say anything.
What?
Yeah, it was definitely posted. So like that's a really good question about objective control. But yeah, if they have no models on it, their objective control is 0. You count 0. It's contested still.
Yeah. What does OC do if you've got a character in a unit that has OC 0? That'd be interesting. Would you count as OC 1 for that specific? Let's say, for example, that character is on the objective.
And they have OC, but the unit doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, it'd just be the model.
Just be
you
the
count
model.
each model.
So therefore, you potentially would be able to flip an objective with an OC 0 unit if you get the character on the objective.
Yeah, but for Battle Shock, if they fail Battle Shock, the character would be worth 0
yes,
as well.
of course. Yeah. So, yeah. That's interesting.
The Grim Resolve can make it 2 because it's reduced to OC 1, not 0. Interesting. So yeah, you still count as 2 then. What counts as obscured? Obscured is anything that isn't fully visible. It has a little diagram. I'll put it up on screen. You can rules lawyer the fuck out of this rule set. I mean, you can rules lawyer the fuck out of anything if you try hard enough, right? I think a lot of it is pretty straightforward, but there is some janky stuff for sure. It's always the same.
But I think it wouldn't be Warhammer if there wasn't a little bit of like niche trying to get a gap in the rules or try and work out exactly how something works, right?
Well, yeah. Determining visibility. So if you're not fully visible, so unit visible, if one of the models in the unit is visible to the observing model, model fully visible. If every part of the model is facing the observing model can be seen from any part from the observing model, then the other model is said to be fully visible. So if you're not fully visible, you are partially obscured. So it tells you how to. If you're visible, you can see them. If you're fully visible, you can see all of it with nothing intervening. And then it talks about the terrain rules. What does it say here? Benefit of cover. Each time we attach added to the model, if that model is either wholly within the terrain feature or is not fully visible to every model in the attacking unit because of this terrain feature, that model has a benefit of cover against that attack.
Yep.
Which is quite interesting because if we get MS Paint open.
Oh, I love MS Paint. Why have we not had, it's taken us an hour and 15 to get MS Paint open.
I know. So each time a ranged attack is allocated to a model, if that model is either wholly within the terrain feature or is not visible to every model in the attacking unit because of the terrain feature, that model has the benefit of cover. So you can have a big fat building here, as again, I don't know why I'm using the mouse. You can have a big fat building here, and you can have a model like here, but then one here, like that. Only ever so slightly sticking its toe out. No, less than that. Less. Here.
Oh, this diagram's sick.
And if you're stood here, right, your line of sight is partially obscured to that part of the base, as you can see. So this part of the base can't be seen. Even though you can see the rest of it, this model gets cover.
Yeah. Which
is very funny.
Yes, it's going to be. There's going to be a few conversations at tables, isn't there, where people are like, "No, you can only see half my model. No, I can't." And there's going to be a few moments of, do I get cover or do I not get cover? Right?
Exactly. And then you can have like a building like here, and then you can have like a little protruding thing out
the Leaning
here.
Tower of Pisa. Fucking hell.
Shut up. I love MS Paint. Leave me alone. Right, but you've all seen these buildings in Games Workshop, right? City of Death. Got a little thing
all I'm
like
saying
that.
Is I hope they never hire you as a designer.
Shut
Jesus
up.
Christ.
Shut up, will you, Thomas? This is a building.
Yeah.
It's a little thing sticking out here.
Right.
Now, we're stood here. We're like boomer shooters. You got your little gun here.
Grot Zukas.
Yeah. Whatever. I don't know. I don't want to do it now. But if you have a model, right?
Okay.
And he's got his head here. He's got his neck, arms, gun, and then it's his legs. But then its base.
Why is that like a flower pot?
Shut up. The base ever so slightly goes behind here. Not fully visible. You get cover.
So basically, everyone's going to be trying to just get an angle so that they've got cover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're partially obscured because that protrusion is sticking out.
Yeah.
You're not in it. Your opponent's not in it.
But line of
you're
sight
stood in it wide open. But because that partially obscured by that piece of terrain, because it says benefit of cover. Each time it's allocated, if that model is either wholly within the terrain feature or is not fully visible to every model in the attacking unit because of this terrain feature.
Yeah.
Not visible to every model in the attacking unit.
So every model has to be able to see half the base.
Wait. Every model.
Every model has to not be able to see a clean line of sight to
also,
the base.
thanks for the whatever that notification is. I really appreciate it.
Hold on.
You're a legend.
Whoever you are, you're a legend.
Wait, it's coming.
Is
it's
it?
coming. It's gonna be great.
Are you sure? Is this? Are we having like we attempting drawing number 3?
Right.
Free Radio Armageddon says Combat Patrol Stream Hammer when?
Soon, we'll see. Each time a range attack is allocated to a model, if that model is either wholly within terrain feature, or it is not fully visible to every model in the attacking unit because of this terrain feature. Not visible
to every
that model because of the attacking unit. So this, like this, no cover because there's line of sight, right? Yeah. This is the attacking unit.
You could have just done an arrow.
Defend. Okay.
Right. Okay,
cover. No.
Okay.
But what if I put a building here? Because I can't get them all out.
Okay.
Does that mean this entire unit gets covered because this guy at the back can't see? Because there's a building in the way. Because it is not fully visible to every model in the attacking unit. Because the attacking unit, one of them is behind a wall. One of them is behind a wall. It says if that model is either wholly within or it is not visible to every model in the attacking unit because of this terrain feature.
Yeah, but is it still saying that the defending unit has to be in ruins? Is that what it's still saying?
Or it is partially obscured. Or it is not fully visible to every model in the attacking unit. Because they're not fully visible to the attacking unit because one of them's behind a wall.
Okay.
Also, thanks to the 5.
Andy Horney, AK.
I'm Andy Horney.
I love Andy Horney.
So have we just broke it? Have we broke it?
Have we broke the core rules?
Have we broke it?
Are we just had one too many beers?
Each
and we're
time a range attack is allocated to a model, it's allocated to a model. No, but if that model is either wholly within terrain feature or is not fully visible to every model in the attacking unit.
So each time isn't it allocated? So
because
a model that can't see a unit can't target the unit, correct?
Yes, but the unit is attacking.
Yes. So this is where the issue is. Yes.
I think they've made a mistake.
Yes.
I think they've made a big mistake here because it says it's not visible to every attacking unit where it should be every attacking model.
That's the issue because the problem is if you roll the unit into model by model attacks.
Yeah, if one guy shoots and he can see everything, but the other 9 are behind a building because the attacking unit is not fully visible to the defending model.
Yeah.
They get cover where they can see each other and they're wide open, there's nothing in the way.
Yeah, like imagine 9th edition where you used to string somebody back for aura buffs, yeah? And they'd never be able to see anything, but they were just there to be like, I'll put my last cannon at the front and there's a bolter guy at their back. They'd be getting benefit of cover because a bolter guy couldn't see them. Yeah. And he'd be like, that doesn't make any sense.
Because it's the attacking unit. Now, does an attacking unit count as every model in the unit or just the ones attacking?
Yeah.
That's another question.
And also able to declare an attack. Does that make sense as well?
Yes.
So select it's a bit targets, weird, isn't it?
Make range attacks.
JW question, can they see the model behind the wall depending on the terrain type so it wouldn't work on ruins then?
You can only see from behind a wall if you can physically see them and the rules allow it.
Yes.
So what we're presuming on my cool, very, very artistic example is that the wall is blocked. Yes. You can't see through. There's no windows.
It's a traditional ITC style L or WTC, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what we're saying.
So that's like, have we just broken ruins? We're just giving everyone a cover save. Is everyone going to get a cover save bar space marines because they've got 3 up or better?
The only thing again is that whether this will come down to either us, the event organisers, having to modify how terrain looks and works, and either house ruling or affecting what our layouts are for terrain, or people play like that until somebody realises this is bonkers, or people just read between the lines and go, it's meant by model rather than unit.
Because that makes sense, but also the way it's written, the way it sounds.
You shouldn't have a guardsman in a guardsman unit affecting the entire other 9 men of the guardsman because it's lingering behind a wall.
Save,
it's too chicken to run out.
Because the defending model is basically visible, but the attacking unit isn't fully visible to the defending model because there's a wall in the way. Yeah. There's a box in the way. Surely we can't be this easy to break. Listen, JW, I've had 5 beers.
We're on the breaking mission. All right, okay.
I'm a professional Warhammer player. This is my job. This is what you pay me to do. Oh wait, you grey name. You don't pay me anything. Cringe.
Yeah. Who do you think you are, JW? Cringe. We thought you were our friend, JW. Also, the beer's empty, so.
Oh dear.
We're running.
Per model for cover. Yeah, but that's the thing. It doesn't say if the model is in cover or fully visible. It says the attacking unit can't see it, not attacking model.
Yes.
That's the difference. It says unit, not model. The unit is a unit that shoots. Whether every model in that unit shoots is very different, but the unit can't see the defending model. The defending model gets cover. the attacking unit might be behind a wall.
Yes.
So that's weird. That's very
weird.
odd. That's very odd because of the way it's written.
I found on Warcom something that I quickly want to discuss about OC0, going back about 10 minutes, just after we've broken the entirety of the core rules with ruins. But so, for example, they showed off Death Company Intercessors the other day, and it basically said that one of the rules is Black Rage, and on its data sheet it says each time model in this unit makes an attack, you can re-roll the hit roll. While this unit is not within 12 inches of one or more friendly chaplain models, it cannot be selected to fall back, and the objective control characteristic of models in this unit is 0. So that is one of the first evidences of an OC0. Obscene 0.
It is quite obscene.
So technically it couldn't hold an objective, but if you put a chaplain in with the squad, and let's say I'm going to assume a chaplain might be OC1, you can technically hold an objective on OC1, right? If the chaplain's on the objective.
Yeah, but then they're within 12.
Yeah, I know. Okay, let's take let's say it's not a chaplain.
You
Let's say I know.
I think you're trying to overcomplicate it. You just add up what you've got on there. If they count as 0, they count as 0.
Yeah, that's quite cool, right?
Do you have 1? Yeah, okay, it's yours.
Yeah.
Do they have more than 1? Yeah, it's theirs.
Yeah, cool.
If you have 0, they have 0.
Also,
no
they did show off some gambits and missions on Warcom.
Okay.
So let's just.
When was this from? Was it recently?
This was this was. It had a date on it. 28th of April.
We've probably gone over it then already.
Yeah, so it's quite. Is it funny? Is it? Anyway, yeah. So gambits and missions. So there might be some stuff that was covered. So they showed off sweep and clear and take and hold.
I told you take and hold in there because I read it on the website.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Showed off a couple of secondary missions. Capture the enemy outpost and overwhelming force, sir.
Love it.
Yeah, so anyway, I just think it's, well, more to come on that, shall we say? More to come on that.
Have you seen the new data sheets? If someone could post a link on Discord, we could have a nosy at the new data sheets that they've showed off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know there was a link floating about.
So we've got a few, they've shown off some Space Marine data sheets already. So for some Deathwing Terminators, the Lions had a bit of a show off as well.
There's the one that was interesting is Mortarion.
Yes, he was shown off in a live stream. In a live stream from and he is he has
Philippine.
Yes.
He's also degrades because he's a big monster, so he suffers -1 to hit below 6 wounds. Yeah. He also has a rule where Death Guard units within 6 of him, including himself, ignore modifiers, which I thought was very funny.
I degrade, but also I don't. Interesting, yeah.
It's very funny. So you degrade, but also don't degrade because you instantly ignore it.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, I think the Lantern had a bit of a glow up as well. I think it's gone up to strength 14, damage 3, maybe. I don't know. Dumb. So yeah.
Yeah. Someone was floating a link around, but I don't have them. I don't have them to hand. So if someone can drop them on Discord, that'd be amazing.
Also, just to flag, because I'm a Blood Angels fanboy, they've shown off the Red Thirst, which is obviously those who are familiar with Blood Angels. The Red Thirst used to be +1 to wound on the dice roll on the turn that you charged or heroically intervened. And that's now basically changed to what if you are a nostalgic Warhammer player, it's the old Furious Charge. So it's +1 strength and +1 attack on the turn you charge only, no more heroic intervention.
Nice.
Which is good. So let's say, for example, you were wheeling in there with a strength 5 attack, for example, it's now strength 6, so you get +1 attack. So I think it's a bit like, I can't tell at the moment whether that's a sideward step and whether I'd prefer to have +1 to win, but anything that has +1 attack is quite nice. I like that. Just knowing that you've always got that reassurance going into combat that I'm a bit tougher and I've got an extra punch. Thank you very much, I'll take that sort of thing. So yeah, interesting.
Well, there's some more data sheets that have been shown off this evening as well. I think Eldar versus Chaos.
All right, okay.
It's interesting. So yeah, let's get.
See, it's Morty hanging
DG,
around.
old DG. Everyone's been complaining about how rubbish they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's quite fun. I'm just scrolling to find them. But yeah, so Mortari seems pretty tough, but the fact that he ignores his own debuff is so funny.
Can I get it? I'm a member of the Death Guard Facebook group, and it's been.
I don't get on the screen. There we go. Found it. There you go.
Maybe found him. Found the big chonkers.
Oh, not studio mode. Wrong one. Bam, bam. Here he is. Look, Mortarion. 12, tough as 12. 16 wounds. Damage. When this model has 1/6 wounds, makes an attack. Subtract 1 from the hit roll. Lord of the Death Guard. While a friendly Death Guard unit with a 6-inch model, that unit can ignore any or all modifiers to its characteristics to any roll or test made, excluding modifiers to saving throws. So it just ignores the -1 to hit. And it says any or all.
So therefore, you can pick and choose if you want to suffer the negative.
Yeah.
I want to suffer the -1 to hit.
Ignore any or all modifiers. So you can ignore the -1 and I'll think about the +1 to hit, for example, if you had one.
Yeah.
I don't know if he does get one. He probably does, but...
Or you might, yeah, or somebody else could buff him, I don't know, let's say, for example, yeah. So that's
so it's like
one,
the -1 to hit is just negligible. It doesn't mean anything. He's fully capable all the time. Yep. He's always hitting on 2s or better. You can't make it. It's like everything's on a 2. You can't make it any different. So dumb. Yeah. It's so dumb.
Absolutely.
What else have we got? Let's have a look. We're on Discord. I suppose we're on Discord in chat, gamers. Here we go. Flamers.
Flamers have had a glow down. It's probably about time they had a glow down, right? So they were too bright and flamery.
Well, they also hit again.
Yeah, but like still
psychic keyword doesn't mean anything. But ignore cover, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, but what they're now strength 4.
Fall back and shoot.
They're still strength 4.
Fall back and shoot, Tom. Your opinion is irrelevant. There's one. George, everyone's been asking for you.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely not coming on camera right now because I'm still back. So
okay.
Did we watching us in the bath?
I hope so.
Respectfully, I was
So they've reduced strength, but AP Flamers is still very good. Like,
depends how
much points the Space Marine ones, they have no AP.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they might be like 500 points a model. Who knows?
What's the maximum size of the unit though?
6.
Sucks.
6. Rubbish.
Yeah, no, right.
We got Screamers. I mean, they'll probably be pretty rubbish. You can roll. Yeah, the slashing jive is rubbish. It's always been rubbish. The combat's not too bad. Move 14 is pretty good. They are beasts, so they can move through walls, so that's not awful.
Nope.
Sorry, I don't have a double screen. I'm using one single laptop tonight. Flesh Hounds. Heroic Intervention for free, which is really good. So obviously Heroic Intervention is a huge change, which you probably not mentioned.
No, we haven't, yeah.
Heroic Intervention is now just charge, mate.
Yeah.
Any unit, just charge. So Heroic Intervention, your opponent's charge phase just after your opponent ends a move. One unit that is within 6 inches of that enemy unit would be eligible to declare a charge against that unit as if it was your charge phase. You now declare a charge that only target that unit and you resolve that charge as if it were your charge phase. But the downside is you don't get any charge bonus, which means you probably don't get fight first when you charge like you normally would. So you don't get fight first, you won't get any bonuses off your data sheet. But you can charge, which is quite cool. So it's any unit within 6. So you could fail.
I have a question about the rulebook.
Oh my god, we have a live question.
This one right here. We've got live to the audience.
Yeah. I don't know if this is real, but I'm on Instagram. And
oh my god, Instagram's always right.
I just ripped it.
And I've just seen a meme.
Okay. Oh no, not a meme on Instagram.
A Ben Affleck meme about the page numbers.
Oh yeah, everyone's complaining. It's so dumb.
About how there's like stylized triangles and they're different than other page numbers. Is that real or is that a joke?
No, it's real. It's not. It's very dumb until you realise that they've got a digital version of the rules and a physical version of the rules. So the normal pages have normal page numbers.
Yep.
I can't find any on these artwork pages. So they have normal page numbers at the bottom. I can't show this page legally.
Legally, just imagine a normal number on a page, all right? Okay.
The core rules essentially start the page numbers again in the middle of the book.
Why?
So
it's meant to be a pull out. Like it's not in this, but it's meant
concept starts from page 5, even though it's halfway through the book.
Why?
So when you print it, it's in the middle, and when you reference a page, you go to page 3 of the core rules. You go to page 19 of the core rules, and when you upload them online, you have you're not referencing page 240 in a document that's 20 pages.
Mom's calling me. That's stupid. Thank you.
Okay.
We got it. We got it. Smashed it. Yeah.
It counts as your charge phase. Does that mean you could be Overwatch? No, because the Overwatch stratagem is specifically opponent's charge phase.
Yeah. And this heroic intervention doesn't happen then.
It's after your opponent makes a charge move.
Yeah.
So what you can actually do is
instead of charging,
spend 3 CP, Overwatch, then heroically intervene as well.
Oh yeah, I was thinking it more of a rather than charging you, just heroic intervened if you were close enough. But like no, yeah.
Because the unit that finds Overwatch doesn't have to be the unit that gets charged. Also, Radio, thanks for $5, man.
Love you, Radio Free Armageddon.
Brian, will GB able to review the new fluff soon? I can't actually show anything else at the core rules yet.
Because if we let her loose on the fluff, this stream would go till midnight, and it'd just be her going, "Oh my god!" And that's the voice I wanted to imagine that G does.
So what you can do is you get charged. Yeah. You got a unit nearby. Yeah. Within 6, but not in combat. Overwatch, and then go, I'm going to heroically intervene as well. I'm going to use it at the same time, so I decide the order. The order's going to be Overwatch, then heroically intervene.
Wow. And there's no way that a unit can't benefit from 2 actions in the same phase.
No, it's not a different stratagem.
No, that's what I mean, but like, would it? I'm just trying to think, like, is there a way why, I'm trying to be devil's advocate, is there a way that couldn't happen?
I don't think so.
No. There's no limit to 1 action a phase, no.
No.
It's 2 stratagems, so as long as you don't use those stratagems elsewhere.
Think so. Yeah. You cannot use the same stratagem more than once per phase.
But they're 2 different
stratagems. 2 different stratagems on the same unit.
So it depends. So because it's in that intergap between the person charging... No, because if the person charged and you Overwatch, they'd make it into combat first, right? So you'd be locked in. So that's the thing. It's not like...
No, because it says... it's after they make a charge move... 1 unit for army that is within 24 of the enemy unit that was eligible to shoot if you're shooting phase. So they charge within 24, so you can Overwatch them.
Yes, but then once the thing of an Overwatch is they have to have made combat, right? Mm-hmm. So therefore they'll
But they don't have to declare the unit. It's any unit that's within 24, not the charged
Got you. So
unit.
therefore if you selected a different unit and they made charge with, let's say for example, a unit of guardsmen.
9th edition hats on, Tom.
Yeah, I know. So if they charged you...
Yeah, let's say that, 9th edition.
Yes.
If you get charged,
you can fire.
If you being declared as a charge, you can Overwatch at them.
Yes.
That's not the case.
No.
It's any unit that's within 24 if they end a charge move within range.
Yes.
So if you end a charge move within range, get Overwatched. At the same time, if that happens to be within 6 inches, but not in combat, you Overwatch them from charge as well. Imagine charging anywhere near an Imperial Knight.
Yeah, or I was in my head, I was like Repulsor with guns, all the guns. Yeah.
Well, Repulsor wouldn't be caring about charging, but the Knight would.
No,
a Repulsor.
But let's say, for example, let's say somebody charged a unit of Space Marines within X amount of inches. Yeah.
Yeah.
You charging a Solid Assessor. The Repulsor just goes, "Sorry, you don't charge my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
How dare you pick on my son?"
Because Ultramarines have had a stratagem where 3 units within 6 inches of the charge unit could Overwatch. It's like, you're charging my little scout mate. Excuse me, Dad or Bro, and it's like,
and the
Daddy. Sorry, 1 second. Daddy Repulsor walks in. Like, what's the matter, Tom? Is this man bullying you?
Yes, Daddy. He's coming to stab me with his chopper.
I imagine the Repulsor gets loads of shots as well. Yeah. Or a Titan, for example. You charge a Ratling, and the Titan Overwatches you. Crazy.
But also, again, imagine. I don't know if Chaos Knights can still do the 2 Avenger Gatling cannons or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know if it can still be a thing. But imagine just however many shots just into an entire unit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get away from those Chaos Cultists.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's crazy.
Oh my god, there's going to be so much. We're going to have so much fun. Yeah. Guys, we're excited for 10th edition.
We are excited. So it's 20 to 11.
Oh.
We should probably go now.
Oh,
I want another beer. Okay, I've run out.
I've also run out.
We didn't get enough members to now chug one on stream.
Why, guys?
Maybe next time.
I can't believe I lugged this all the way. The leaks.
I lugged this all the way here.
It's all legal stuff for us to talk about, but we've given you all the inside gossip, the things that you've not been told by other people and other channels.
Dog shit, it's rubbish game. No one else has said that. Everyone's gone, yes, Stu, we love 10th edition.
Stu, rub me harder.
No, I didn't say that. But it is a good game. There's going to be a lot of jank that people can work out very quickly, very early on, such as giving cover saves to units that, as we've worked out, are nice artwork. So it should be fun. We're just going to have to break it together as a family, and then we'll stick it all back together with WD-40 sellotape. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So mate would be happy with the WD-40. They would. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for all the super chats. That's very, very kind of you. As much as I'm joking, it's very kind of you for all the super chats and all the members. Can I ask, really did you enjoy Friday Beer Sesh? Let us know what you thought of Friday Beer Sesh. Somebody enjoyed it. I had a great time. I had a great time. Did it, lad? Did it? Also, thank you to Casa de Broad
for putting this up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
thank you to Georgie's mum.
No, Leviathan wasn't sent to Georgie, it was sent to me. Shut up. But tune in tomorrow. I'm going to redirect you now. Tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. for things that legally I can talk about tomorrow.
At 10 a.m.
At 10 a.m. specifically.
Which you will talk about with Elliot at 10 a.m. on a pre-recorded video.
Probably.
Maybe. Who knows?
We'll see.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. Join the Discord if you haven't already. Please like if you haven't already. And if you don't, subscribe now.
Kev the Stab says we've been great.
You've been great, Kev. Thank you. So is Mason Q. So is Kyle.
Kyle says hi. So does Crip Shadow. Yeah, it's great. Thank you guys for being there. We love you all.
Thanks for hanging out. Really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. As I said, if you haven't subscribed already, then go fuck yourself because I've been here live.
Seamus says we're all on 10 a.m. That is the
Seamus,
kind of...
not Seamus. Seamus. Oh my god, that was really, that was so cringe. Right, I'm gonna end the
roll on
stream
10 a.m.
Roll on ending the stream because that was awful.
Anyone else want to say goodbye quickly? No?
No. Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye, Seamus.
And hopefully catch you next time. Bye.